Today we're going to be looking at Arctic Fox in the color CAITLYN. You might notice that my swatches are labeled 1 through 12. That is not meant to be synonymous with hair levels. It's just to help us keep track of each swatch throughout the video. My swatches are not virgin hair, which means they've been chemically colored, treated, or bleached at some point in their existences. 1 is green, 2 is a dyed cool tone gray, 3 is a medium to dark, I'd say, natural red, 4 is black, and then 4 to 11 is a range that goes to platinum blonde, and then 12 is like a toned version of number 11. So to start, I will take the color directly from the container and I will apply it to the very top of each swatch. Then on the bottom of each swatch, I will do a diluted version of our color. You're probably wondering, why the heck did you not do these arcane colors sooner? And let me tell you, I feel like I have the weirdest luck with hair dye, and like multiple times I have gotten hair dye only for them to discontinue it. And so I was holding off on buying these arcane dye because I was really afraid that like once I made the decision to put it on my channel, they would be discontinued or like a temporary collection, right? There was one time I even made a full video for a color only to go as I was uploading it onto the website and it just be gone. And I really didn't want that to happen again. So I held out and I held out and I held out, and they are still there. Hopefully I don't go and check and they're gone. As long as they're still on the website, I will continue to upload this series, but I apologize that it took me so long. For the diluted section, we are doing a 4:1 ratio. So that is 1 part of our color to 4 parts diluter. If you don't know what I mean when I say diluter, the simplest answer is that it's something that lightens the color of a semi-permanent dye. Some brands do make diluters for their dye, but because I do so many different brands on my channel, I just use a plain white conditioner as my diluter. And also, I just want to throw in really quick that this is going to be a new layout for my video that I haven't done before. I'm just gonna try this for a little bit, and if I like it, I'll keep doing it. If I don't, I'll try something new. But I'm gonna let these sit for an hour. I will then rinse them out, and when they're dry, I'll meet you back here and we can do some comparisons. So I like to look at the very first colored swatch to determine just how pigmented this is. On the direct dye portion, it did cover the green, but I do see just a touch of it coming through in brighter light. And then on the diluted section, it didn't fully cover. I definitely see some of the green still coming through, which honestly is to be expected. Overall, this color is a very cool, almost like purpley kind of blue that's a little bit darker and definitely very dusty. So based on all of that combined, I think, in my opinion, that this is probably a color that's best for medium blonde at the darkest or lighter. I do want to throw in a reminder that my swatches are not virgin hair. Virgin hair tends to be less porous, which means it can struggle to take and hold on to color sometimes. So as my swatches progress, you'll see that this color actually did take on a majority of my swatches. So it's not really about whether you see a difference. It's more so that you can't really see the undertone or like the intentional color on the darker swatches until you get to the lighter ones. But if you like how it looks on some of the darker swatches, feel free to try it yourself, but I always recommend a strand test so you know what you're getting into. And when it comes to toning, the platinum blonde swatch and the tone swatch actually looked quite similar. So I think you only really need to worry about toning if you're the kind of person who has hair that goes very, very yellow or brassy when you bleach. And my guess, I don't know for sure, if you have more of a yellow undertone, it'll probably turn the color more blue, less cool. You'll lose a little bit of that purple or a lot of bit of that purple depending. So as for comparisons, I always like to do two, and we're gonna actually start with Arctic Fox. They have a cool, almost purpley blue in their collection, and that is in the color Sorceress. Now, when you see these next to each other, they're really not that similar. And it's mainly because Sorceress is a lot lighter and it's not really dusty at all compared to CAITLYN. But I think their undertone is similar. So if anyone out there was curious what these look like next to each other, here's your chance. And if you are wondering, Blue Jean Baby, it's kind of a dustier blue. It's much, much more warm in undertone. So it looks nearly green next to CAITLYN. And then my probably most similar comparison that I currently have in my collection is going to be Manic Panic in the color Blue Panther. So Blue Panther is meant to be more of a black. On my swatches, it didn't turn out quite that dark, but it's pretty close. But it also has a nice smokiness, and it is also a very like cool undertoned blue. But actually, I would say even though it's called Blue Panther, it's more purple in comparison to CAITLYN. And I did look at CAITLYN next to some of my other smoky colors. Lunar Tides, for example, is really good with that. They have one called Smoky Navy, which I was hoping would be similar, but next to CAITLYN, it literally made CAITLYN look purple. That's how warm and undertone the Smoky Navy was in comparison. So then I look at Smoky Purple, and Smoky Purple definitely looked purple. So CAITLYN is quite unique to my collection. Hope you liked my new video layout. If you have any requests, I do have a link below to a Google form you can fill out. Just remember, I only do brands that do not test on animals. I'm also open to video ideas as well. Thank you so very, very, very much to my patrons, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.